This is the House of Hockey podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Hockey is more than a game, it's a lifestyle. It's you, the diehard supportive fans, your favorite players who are on the team you cheer for, and the organization who supports them.
The companies that make your gear, bags, and beer league sweaters. The hockey moms and hockey dads, and everything else that makes this House of Hockey your home. Come on in. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae Rae.
And this is our house. Welcome back to the House of Hockey podcast. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Rae Rae.
And here we go on another episode. This is episode, 5?
Yeah, we're rolling. We have such an awesome freaking... Okay, all of our guests are awesome, but today's episode is fantastic. Get ready, pull up a seat, get comfortable, turn up the volume, because we interviewed the emergency backup goalie for the Nashville Predators.
Yep, we did. And I mean, every episode has been really awesome and really fun, but I think this one was for the books. I had a lot of fun with this one. Maybe I'm being a little biased because we did talk about my boy Roman Josi a bit, but it was a fantastic interview, and Dustin was great.
Yeah, Dustin Bones Smith is the EBUG for the Predators. He told us so many great stories that he could share of his time with the players and how he practices with them sometimes, and the awesome relationship with the Preds. And we talked even about why goalies are goalies and weird.
What makes a goalie weird?
Yeah, and it's fantastic. So stay tuned. That'll be up here in just a couple of minutes. We just want to, before we dive into that interview, we just like to touch base with each other and with you all. And nothing's changed on my end. I'm still in quarantine. How about you, Breezy?
Still in quarantine. I will say we did this interview with Dustin, and it was awesome, like we had already mentioned, and it made me kind of get the tick to want to pick up a stick, and you may have influenced me a little bit. So along with you learning how to play hockey, I'm not filling myself. I'm just killing some time in my bedroom, and I have my hockey stick up here, and I'm getting my little setup together. So thanks for the inspo, and thanks Dustin for the inspo as well. So that's my quarantine life.
Yeah, I've taken a couple days off. Let's see. Oh, I should shout out the Caps Chirp podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Their host, Hockey Troll, saw my journey of learning to play hockey on social media, and he offered to live coach me on Instagram. And so
Which was great, by the way.
Thanks.
I watched it.
Thanks.
I was there supporting you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You better fucking support me.
I mean, what else do I have to do? I'm in quarantine. Just kidding. No, I would support it even if I wasn't in quarantine.
I know. You're a good person like that. I would support you too if you were doing this crazy thing that I'm doing and on social media. But awesome coach, excellent coach, and
great warm-up routine he had. I was waiting for that, and I had a beer in hand. I warmed up with you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I did not. I missed his message of he had asked me if it was okay to drink a beer, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, but that was nice to ask, but I missed the memo. I didn't have a beer. I take it a little too serious, which is probably the problem, and I should have drank a beer.
Would have loosened you up a bit.
Yeah, it might have loosened me up, because I get a little intense. Someone said I had a resting hockey face. I mean, I get really concentrated and
you
focused.
Had a game face going. Yeah. So I was like, oh, it looks like she's about to go up against her biggest rival or something.
Yeah. I take it a little serious. because I like don't know what I want to do it right. I want to do it all right, and I don't know what I'm learning, and I don't know. I guess I need to smile more when I'm practicing, but
You need to
I've
have fun. Number one rule in hockey is have fun.
yeah. No,
I
I
mean,
am having fun. I
yeah.
just it doesn't show on my face. Like I'm enjoying learning. It just doesn't look like it, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
But I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, Breezy, with the ability to learn because, you know, we're in quarantine, and
Mm-hmm.
the number one problem I have is my stick is too big.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't own, everyone's just like, take out your saw and cut it. I'm like, guys, I don't have a saw.
Oh yeah, let me take out the saw.
Like I got a kitchen knife, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Hey, you know what? If homeboy who what was his name, Aaron, who got stuck in a rock and was able to use a pocket knife to cut off his arm, you can use a butter knife to cut a stick.
Oh my God, could you imagine me like,
Sure,
I'm like,
the roommate would love that.
oh yeah, she wouldn't even notice. But she'd be like, "What are you making in there?" Oh,
Do
just
we have termites? Why is there wood everywhere?
just, just cutting up a hockey stick. Everything's fine. Don't
No
worry.
big deal. This is my
But
designated hockey stick butter knife. Do
yeah,
not use for butter.
don't use. I'm gonna have to put it in a separate place, hide it in my room like I do everything else.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have to ask the person that I borrowed the stick from, Jason Withy, our friend of Pacific Rink. So I've got to ask him, one, if he'd be. I think this is a nice stick. I don't know if I don't want to cut it without asking him. I don't know how to cut it. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've got to get on the horn with him.
Yeah.
So the learning to play has stalled out a little bit. There's only so much I can do, and I don't want to learn bad behavior of stick handling with a stick that's too large. And I'm also, like we discussed last week, fucking terrified to get on skates. So
Mm-hmm.
the one good thing my roommate told me, she has professional inline rollerblades in my size, and they are currently sitting in my closet because I need to get the elbow gear, the protective gear. And before I even get on the skates, though, I have to learn how to stop because they don't have stoppers on the front or the back. And so, like, I don't know how to do that in quarantine. So I'm a little bit like uncertain of what to do moving forward, but I've got to do
Gotcha.
something. I've got to
Yeah.
keep practicing.
Well, the good news is that there is this handy little thing called Amazon, and you can order yourself a smaller stick, even if it's just street hockey.
How expensive are they?
Not very expensive.
Okay.
I actually got I was in kind of the same boat a couple of years ago. I needed to do something. I needed a new stick. My stick from way back when was turned into it's in my dad's garage, and it turned into a spider killing weapon. So there's spider guts on it. So I needed I needed a new stick. So I just bought a just like a little cheapy little street hockey stick. And I think it was like $40.
Oh, I can do that.
You can do that. You're fine.
Okay, so do they but do they come pre-cut, like sized, or is it just one
Yeah.
size? Or am I going to
No,
run into this saw situation again?
you can order the size that you need. I can help you. You'll be fine. We're about the same height. I think you're a little taller, but we're about the same height.
How tall are you?
I think I'm like 5'7", maybe 5'8".
Yeah. I'm like 5'6". I usually wear a little heel of some sort, so that would be why you'd think I'm your height.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah, okay,
we're
close
about the
enough.
same. We're about the same stick size, I would assume. So
Okay.
I think we are the same stick size. So you'll be fine.
All right,
We'll get you taken care of.
send me a link. Yeah, because this has gotten to, yeah, I've hit a crossroads. But speaking of our hockey lifestyle, as this is now part of our hockey lifestyle, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting back into it. I'm just learning.
Yep.
And this is a hockey lifestyle podcast. And I feel like we haven't really shared maybe super specifically what our each individual hockey lifestyles are. I think people
Mm-hmm.
have gleaned a little bit just by listening to us talk, but
Yeah.
how would you describe your hockey lifestyle. What's
Um,
hockey lifestyle mean to you?
I wouldn't really say I have like a hockey lifestyle to be like cliche, but I just think that hockey is my life at this point. Yeah, I've had the Hunks of Hockey account obviously for 5 years, and I've been very well invested in posting on that every single day. And it's turned into me not just having one team. Obviously, like I follow 3 teams pretty, every day. Every single day I follow all 3 teams. And then, but even with that too, it's made me like every other team in the league. Like there's not, I mean, there might be one team where I refuse to cheer for, but
Ooh,
we don't talk about it because I am not that kind of a person. I do not spread negativity.
oh, I don't even know who this team is.
You may not. No one may know. Actually, it's pretty obvious probably. But anyway, so I think that for me, it's like every single day I just am constantly, looking up stats or even watching games. Like I watch if all 3 teams are playing, like I watch 3 games a night. I'll record them, but I usually like watching them live. But if they're playing at the same time, I have to kind of flip back and forth, but I never miss a game. I'm always talking about it with somebody. I'm talking about it with you or with Jay or pretty much everybody. So I think just in general, I mean, I wear something hockey related probably every single day. I'm very much a tomboy, so everything is hockey for me. So
Yeah.
what about you?
I let's see. I don't always wear something hockey every day. I think with my line of work, if I was like hosting and wearing a hockey jersey at like a professional conference, they'd be like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
So what does that have to do with?
Exactly. Is this part of your shtick or,
Yeah.
but I do I do wear some hockey stuff. Like I do
Yeah.
have my Hawk stuff, and I
Hmm.
usually this I got from my father, but if I'm at home watching a game, if I'm watching my team, I'm wearing a Hawk shirt. Like I have to put on my team's shirt.
Yeah. Do
But
you have
not
jerseys?
yeah, I have a jersey. I have no name. I didn't want a name because I did, I don't really like truly have like a favorite player. Like I
Hmm.
like a lot of them and I like all of them and I love
Yeah.
everything about my team and I love the sport and like I don't know. I haven't really found a true favorite. So I got a no name jersey, red home, like the red jersey because the red Blackhawks jerseys are awesome. I have some fun t-shirts that are non-Hawks related because the problem I was running into was since I live here in LA, I go
Hmm.
to a lot of Kings games or Ducks games, even when the Hawks aren't playing. And
Right.
I wanted to wear something hockey related. And to be honest, there's really not that much out there,
Right.
like fun, kind of non team specific
Hmm.
clothes outside of like Pacific Rink and all of that. But
Yeah.
I hadn't really I don't know, nothing had really resonated to me, but I do watch the boys. I watch the Hawks play
Yeah.
as much as I can. If I happen to be home and not working and out on the road, my schedule is all over the place. So it makes it really hard for me to tune into every single game, but I watch as
Yeah.
much as possible. And yeah, I mean, I love it. I love going to games. I'll go to games when my team isn't playing. I'm always down, whether that's like I went to some minor league games when I lived in Orlando. I went to the Solar Bears and I mean
Yeah.
hockey is hockey and it's a blast for me.
Yeah. Now, do you only have Hawks jersey, or you only have one Hawks jersey?
I
Do you
only
have
have
any more?
no, I have one
Oh,
jersey
wow.
and it's just a Blackhawks jersey with no name. And I have a couple of t-shirts
Yeah.
because my dad well so when I would go see the Hawks play back home in Chicago, my dad has like 10 jerseys. So
Yeah.
he would just be like, don't pack your jersey because it's too big and you've got other stuff. Like just wear one of mine. So I'd wear one of his
Yeah.
jerseys but yeah, I have one jersey. I have a bunch of Hawks shirts, like different t-shirts, and then a bunch
Mhm.
of I have a baseball hat, I have a beanie that's Hawks. I have
Yeah.
like a lot of Hawks stuff
Yeah.
that I wear intermittently, but yeah.
Yeah.
How many jerseys do you have?
A lot.
Like
I think at one point, I think I counted like
20?
22.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of them obviously are Kings jerseys just because I grew up with those. I have two of them hanging on my wall that are autographed. But other than that, I think, I have a couple All-Star jerseys. Got a Roman Yossi jersey, got a Connor McDavid, got a Tyler Seguin. Um, I think that's pretty much all I have as far as like multiple teams. But yeah, all in total, I think I have about 22 between everything. And yeah, I switch back
Yeah.
and forth. I'll wear them.
Yeah, I guess I'm rare that like I only have one jersey, but I'm
No, I
like
mean, if
it's
it's
the
your lucky
one.
jersey, yeah,
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one I wear. That's the one I wear
yeah,
to every game. That's it. You know?
yeah.
I don't know.
So we know you wear a Hawks shirt when they play. Is there anything else you do when it's a game time? Like, do you have to? I mean, I think I've talked about it before. Like, I love watching puck drop. Like, it's my tradition. I always have to have a drink in my hand. Not that I'm an alcoholic. I just like having a beverage. Like, what else do you like to do? Like when you watch games, do you have to watch them live or can you watch them recorded? Like,
I can watch it
it's different.
recorded. I can watch it live. I don't have any like superstitions other than like I usually go put on my put on like some kind of
Yeah.
hawk something
Right.
while I'm at home. That's like at home watching. And then
Okay.
at the games, I do like to see puck drop. I like to get in before. I like to watch the warm-ups. I like
Mm-hmm.
like the whole open on the jumbotron and every
Yeah.
team's different. Like I love watching that. I
Same. Yeah.
appreciate, yeah, like I appreciate that production value too, being in the television and production world, as like
Right.
I really appreciate it. And think it, I think it's really neat how, and I know what it takes to put all that together.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like puck drop. I don't have to have a beer. I do like to have a beer every once in a while at the game, but I like to be like sober and pay attention and watch the game
Right.
and learn more and look at the lines and look at how they're playing. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a different perspective on it now that we're so engrossed in it
Yeah.
and that. So yeah, that's it. Do you? Outside of like the beer and puck drop?
Um, I hate watching delayed games. Like
Mm,
I go to my neighbor's house a lot to watch games. It's kind of like our little tick, and usually they start it, a few minutes after the puck drops, and I'm just like, I can't. I hate this. I already know what's happening. I get alerts on my phone, and then they yell at me. They're like, "Stop looking at your phone." I'm like, I'm in this. Like, I have to watch it. Like, I hate watching recorded games, but like I said, I sometimes I have to if
mhm.
multiple games are on. But usually I'll hit the last button and I'll flip between games, and sometimes they're on intermission while the puck is in play on other ones. So, but other than that, I really love the Canadian anthem. If there's ever a Canadian anthem, or if they're playing a Canadian team, I will stop and just kind of watch it because I think there's something special about that. But I'm always pro Canada, so
There was something else I just thought of that I do. Oh, I'm notorious so if I'm on the road and
yeah,
working and there's hockey on or my team's playing or there's a game and if I have the chance to actually eat dinner at a restaurant, I will always sit at the bar and go to the TV and make them put on hockey. Like whatever game it is, especially in playoffs. Like there have
yeah,
been multiple times where I'm the only person at the bar and there's freaking NBA playoffs on, and I'm like, is anybody watching this? No. And I get the guy and I'm like, can you put on, whatever
yeah.
network is on NBC Sports? And they're like, you're a hockey fan? And I'm like,
It's funny.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I am. So I'm like that person who's like, if
yeah.
I'm at a restaurant or a bar, I'm asking the bartender to change the channel and like put some hockey on.
Yeah.
So that's what
That's
I do.
it's pretty. I think that's cool. But I think I'm kind of the same way. If I ever go out to a restaurant or anything, with my friends, and there's a TV in there. My friends always look around. They're like, "Okay, you need the corner seat because you can see the TV."
Mm-hmm.
And then they just know. They're just like, "All right, puck's in play. Let's not talk to you for 5 minutes." Kind of bad, but I mean, I'm good. I'm good about it. Thankfully, they're fans as well, but
Yeah.
I always have to have the view of the TV, and I've trained my friends very well.
Yes. Yes. All right. Should we toss it over to our interview with Dustin Smith, the Preds EBUG?
Absolutely. I'm super excited for this.
Yeah.
Super. Yeah, let's do it.
We are joined by someone who has probably the most unique job in the NHL. He is the emergency backup goalie for the Nashville Predators. Welcome, Dustin, aka Bones Smith, to the House of Hockey. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome. Well, first of all, explain the nickname. What's the Bones nickname? Where did that come from?
Bones. So Bones I picked up a long time ago playing college club. I was just kind of the tall, skinny guy. We had another tall, skinny guy on the team, and they decided they want to throw some nicknames at us. So it started out as just D Bones, and then kind of evolved into, Bones, and now Bonesy.
Nice.
Nice. I like that.
All right. Tell us, for maybe some people who are listening who aren't as familiar with the emergency backup goalie rule and position, and give a little background from your perspective on how that all works.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know about the emergency goalie. It's a lot of mystery behind it, but it kind of started. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was 2005 when the Panthers had like an emergency situation, and the league didn't have anything in place. So after that, they had a big tryout, and then a year after that, they made it a rule to have someone serve as an emergency option for both teams. So it kind of became the rebirth of the emergency goalie.
That's
cool.
Yeah. Breezy, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's I didn't know that was when it actually started. I thought it was kind of through the league the entire time. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So it was a rule way back in the day, like back when teams only had one goalie. So like if the goalie got hurt, like nobody was there to play. So they kind of had the same rule way back then. And it's kind of made its resurgence here since I'm pretty sure it was 2005. Or not 2005, 2015, sorry.
Okay, so how did you get this job, and how long have you had it? Tell us the story of like when the Predators brought you in and how you got in. I mean, this sounds like a super exclusive kind of like club that people who aren't in the NHL get to do this. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's so awesome. But I know for me, I've talked to some other emergency goalies and heard some similar stories, but everything kind of changed for me during the lockout in 2012, because, for 3 months, I kind of backed my way into practicing with the entire team. So like I established this relationship with the team then. So, once this rule came about, they kind of gave me a call and said, "Hey, do you want to be the emergency guy?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I do." So been doing it ever since.
But they just like, how did they get your phone number? How did they find you? Like, how did you get in contact with the team? Like, do you have friends on the team? Like, come on, you got to give us like the scoop.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, in 2012, I practiced with these guys almost every day. And I got pretty close with a lot of guys on the team, like, Tukka, Chris Mason, even like Weber and, Yossi too. So, when they resumed the season that year, it was a shortened season. So they kind of said, "Hey, we'd like to have you come in for practices every once in a while, just to kind of give Pekka some relief." And I think I did like 2 practices that year. But, starting then is kind of when the relationship started. And then when they had this big tryout to basically be their emergency guy for the rest of that year, I actually went down there and tried out, just kind of like for fun. I didn't really think anything of it, and I wasn't even going to sign up, honestly. But like a lot of friends, coworkers were like, "Dude, if you don't sign up, we're signing you up for you." And I'm like, "Don't butcher my application. Like, I'll do it myself. Like, don't worry about it." But yeah, I went down there, tried out for their, they basically had a contest, and I ended up tying with another guy, Bill Ruggiero, who's a local guy there. And we got tickets for the rest of the year. I didn't get to go to any of the games because I live here in Nashville, but it's such a cool experience. But that was kind of another big moment that really kind of turned for me and really kind of turned into this whole emergency goalie situation.
That's really cool. So have you ever dressed for a game or anything like that?
Yeah, I got dressed for the Bruins once,
Whoa.
which back then it was like the rule was still kind of new. Like I just happened to have tickets that night. Like I hit Pekka up. I was like, hey man, like I grew up a big fan of the Boston Bruins, so I wanted to go see them play too. And it was the first period. Your boy Roman Yossi took a shot in the slot, hit Tukka right in the throat. So they pulled him off. So I'm
Jeez.
texting, the president of hockey operations with the Preds, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. You guys need me or what? Joking around. And first intermission, I get a phone call, and he's like, dude, we need you over here by the elevator. You got to get downstairs. You got to get dressed right now. Let's go. So, ran downstairs, got dressed, and just kind of hung out in the locker room for the rest of the game.
That's crazy. So do you go to every game now, or you kind of just hang back and okay?
Yeah, so I mean, things have kind of evolved now to where we've got 4 guys listed now. So like if I can't make it to a game or whatever, they've got somebody there. But now we park downstairs with the players. They get 2 tickets to every game. Like we bring our gear with us and stuff. But I have noticed it's different from team to team. So everyone kind of handles their emergency guy a little different.
Oh my God. That is so so I'm just blown away at like the opportunity to get to do that. So when you had to dress, like, were you freaking out when you went down to the locker room?
Oh yeah, of course I was freaking out. I mean, I was so nervous at first. One of the trainers was working on Tukka, and they were like, hey, we need you to put on Tukka's gear. And I'm like, okay. So I went and talked to him, like, hey, how you doing? Like, they told me to like put your gear on. Is that okay? He's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, my neck is hurting, so like, go do your thing. But I had to go in, put all this stuff on, just kind of sit there and hang out.
Like, what? That's got to be like the weirdest moment where you're just like, oh shit, I might have to play. I'm standing next to Tukka. I'm talking to him, but he's like injured. And does his gear fit? Like that would have been my first thought. Like, is this
you had to
fit?
put on his gear?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a mad scramble because nobody really knew what to do then. Like I said, the rule was still pretty new. So I'm in the Preds training room. They're giving me like undergarments. And then I'm in the Bruins locker room trying on all this stuff. And I'm like, these skates don't fit. Like, I might need like different this. So like they're giving me Rene's old skates. I've got Tukka's pads on. Like I end up wearing Tukka's cup because I'm like, I don't have one. Like, I don't know what you want me to do here. So like,
oh my God, that has to be the best thing ever. You wore Tukka's cup.
Yeah. Just, I mean, what else was I going to do, You
got to protect the the family jewels.
Yeah, got to protect the goods.
Oh my God. So do you what's the relationship like with some of the players now? Because like you were saying, you go to some of the you go to the practices and stuff like that for the Preds. So what's that like? Is it just like your bros and like regular, just, talking shit and throwing shirts?
I mean, they're all super nice guys, so they're all really easy to get along with. But I mean, during the lockout in 2012, when I skated with them almost every day, is kind of when like I became really close with a good group of them. Like, I ended up going out with them on the weekends here and there. Like, I got to know Pekka pretty well. We'd hang out a few times. But over the years, with the team kind of like evolving, guys moving, doing this, that, and the other thing. Not exactly close friends with a lot of these guys anymore, which, is cool. They're all professionals and they, have their own thing going. But I mean, I still keep in contact with some of these guys. And every time I go practice, they're all so nice. And, of course, some of them like to chirp every once in a while, but that's how it goes.
Yeah. That's awesome. So would you say, do you have any like best experiences with any of the guys? I know you said you go out often. Is there like a hip spot that you guys would like to go to, and maybe your favorite spot to go to in Nashville?
When I was hanging out with them way back when, they like to go downtown. They'd hit up the stage. We'd pop into Tootsie's, kind of crawl around for a bit, and then we end up going to like Midtown, going into like Rebar and all these different little bars here and there, and kind of have a good time.
Yeah, we were actually, Rachel and I were supposed to actually be there
today.
Yeah.
Today,
oh, no way.
Yeah,
well,
I was.
Welcome to Nashville, I guess.
Yeah, I would have landed right about now, actually.
No way.
So yeah.
I was gonna ask if you guys had been here yet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Breezy, you go ahead.
I've been there, God, I think this would have been my 5th time. So yeah, I've
Oh
been there
yeah. So you
quite a
know.
few times. Oh, I know the spots.
Yeah.
She knows the spots. My brother lives there, and I visited him 2 years ago for the first time, and we had a really great time hanging out down there. I'm a big country line dancing person,
Oh, you fit in
and
great.
yeah, and my mission was to get a good pair of cowboy boots, and I think I took about like 3 hours shopping at all the stores on Broadway to find like the perfect pair of boots, and I found some, and I wore them the whole rest of the time I was there.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the perfect sign of a tourist. When they're like walking around downtown, it's like cowboy boots, probably a tourist.
Yep, exactly. But I don't care. Like I actually need them for my line dancing. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's great. Like you got to fit the role too.
it's a lot easier to dance in them with the proper sole as well. Because when you need to do your slides across the dance floor, you got to have that good sole on the bottom of your boots.
Yeah, right.
People listening are like, what the hell is she talking about? I thought this was a hockey podcast.
Turning into a line dancing podcast.
Exactly. Oh God, I don't know that there's much to talk about there, but anyway. So are you from Nashville? Have you lived there all your life?
No, so originally I'm from San Diego, and I actually didn't start playing hockey until I moved here. I was about 10, 11 years old, and yeah, started playing roller hockey and then jumped into ice hockey and took to playing goalie like right away. Like once I first started playing, I knew that was it. Like, I love this. This is it.
Dang, you knew it. You
Oh
knew
yeah,
it.
right away.
So San Diego. So you grew up kind of by us, kind of.
Yeah. You guys are in LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was out in Mira Mesa, out in San Diego, and then I would spend a lot of time out in PB with my dad. So we went to a lot of San Diego Gulls games. Those were awesome.
Yeah. What were those like back, like when you were going? Because it's got a pretty big following in San Diego.
Yeah. So I forget what league they were in back then, but the team folded after a while. I don't know if the team folded or if the league folded, but yeah, I remember going when I was little, and it caught my interest right away. And I always wanted to play living in San Diego, but I didn't live close enough to a rink, and like it just didn't really work out. But Mighty Ducks came out around that time too, and that hit me right in the childhood. So like really into hockey like right away. So I was pumped to start playing when I did.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I grew up with the Mighty Ducks too, but I didn't get into playing. Breezy and I both don't play.
No.
You just started playing though, right? You guys got to get into it. You got to get some skates and get on the ice.
Oh God, I started playing I've started learning in my studio-sized apartment over the last few days during quarantine, and it's challenging. I have such admiration for all the players. I always have. And now just attempting to do that, I'm legit afraid to get on skates or the ice. Like I don't want to fall down. I don't want to hurt myself. So I'm taking it slow.
No, you got to get hurt. You got to get up there and get on the ice. Skating is honestly like 90% of it. Like learning how to ice skate is such a big deal.
Yeah. I used to play street hockey a little bit, but then I got hurt. I sliced my eyelid completely wide open. So I've been afraid to get back on since. So I'm like, I love it, but I tend to just skip the skates and keep the stick in my hand.
Yeah, that's understandable. Man, that's tough.
No, it's all good though. It's a little scar, but I think we're fine. So
yeah.
So do you play beer league or anything? Like, what do you got going on now?
Yeah. So I play beer league around here. I play for 2 teams, and then I have a small group of guys that I like to go skate with throughout the week, and then we actually have this it's like an alumni skate with a handful of like pro guys that live around Nashville, and we've been doing that every week, which honestly it's the best skate of the week. I look forward to it every week.
So who's there? Who do you play? Like who's at that skate?
Well, it's I don't know if you guys know JP Dumont. He used to play for the Preds back in the day. Actually, Ryan Smith, Captain Canada, he lives in Nashville, so he comes out and plays with us. You guys would know Mike Fisher. He'll come skate with us every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
wait. Have you met Carrie Underwood?
I have not met Carrie Underwood. I've met Mike so many times. Actually, I met Mike before he even played in Nashville, and I had no idea who he was. Like, I just wanted to get on the ice and asked if him and his trainer needed a goalie. I thought he was like some guy that played junior. And I was like, man, this guy's pretty good. And then later somebody was like, yeah, that's Mike Fisher. He's, you know, I don't know if he was married to Carrie Underwood yet or not, but I was like, oh, okay, that explains why he's so good.
That's funny.
What about Heartsey? Does Heartsey still live there?
No, I don't think Heartsey does. But we got, Hal Gill and Chris Mason will come out every once in a while too.
That's
I'm trying
awesome.
to think. I'm probably forgetting somebody. They're gonna be upset that I forgot them. Like, like Cody Hodgson comes out, like he's sick. Mike Rivera will step out with us every once in a while. So, yeah, I love that skate. Like, I'm bummed that we can't skate right now because, like, like I said, I look forward to it every week.
Yeah,
for sure. Do you when you play beer league, do you ever play against the Mighty Drunks?
No, but I do. I don't know if you know Colby Collier. He does MD Media, and he's asked me to come play with them a few times, and it just like didn't work out, or I couldn't play. But I do know the Mighty Drunks. I don't play with them.
No. I just got back from so Colby was up in Toronto with me, and we did some content. It was mostly him. I was just kind of hanging out in the back, but he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Yeah, and he's pretty diehard about, you know, creating awesome content and like building his social media. So I've actually had a lot of really fun experiences, you know, kind of through that.
Yeah, and he also did a segment, I believe, when they put the rink outside of Bridgestone on Broadway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That was cool.
Him and his little kid, they were all out there skating around, having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Explain they put a rink outside of Bridgestone. Tell us about that for people.
Yeah, actually, so they had the All-Star game here a few years back. I don't know if you guys remember that, but for the events, they ended up putting like an outdoor kind of mini sheet of ice. So, you know, you can come out and like ice skate, and they eventually had, we played like pond hockey tournaments out there, but they have the same sheet of ice. I think it's the same. I don't know. But they've been putting it kind of in different spots in Nashville every winter. So they put it right out front of Bridgestone for, I forget how long or what the event was. I think it was like Hockey Night in America or something like that. I forget. But
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have any other stories you want to share about the alumni game, or anything funny that's ever happened, or any other interesting stories that you feel comfortable sharing?
See, the comfortable part is like the part that I have to like kind of work around right now.
Yes.
I mean, there's definitely some, you know, fun stories back in the Lockett days. Actually, a fun story, skating with Seth Jones. Because I actually went to go pick up a new set of pads one morning, and I think Seth Jones had just kind of started playing with us, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go put these pads on, get on the ice, and Seth Jones is out there, and the Zamboni guy was like, hey, you should go skate with them. They need a goalie. I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want to like impose. So the Zamboni guy like sticks his neck out for me, and he's like, hey, you guys need a goalie? He's going to get dressed. All right, thanks, buddy. But yeah, skated with him, and then it kind of worked out almost every summer. He likes to skate on the ice pretty early in the year, and end up skating with him and his brother, you know, leading up to training camp and stuff like that. But after he got traded, he came down that next summer, and we're getting dressed, and this kid comes in the room, and he's like, hey, Seth Jones, can I get your autograph? Because everybody loves him here. Even after he left, like, people still love him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he signs the autograph, whatever. Another kid comes in. We're like, all right, you know, we go skate, we come back. Another kid comes in. And then all of a sudden this mom comes in. We're like trying to get undressed after practicing. And like, we've got moms walking at this point. We're like, all right, we got to open the door. Like, can't be having parents coming in here with their kids getting autographs. But yeah, good time skating with Seth Jones over the summer.
Speaking of parents, Seth Jones, his mom, I don't know if you've heard, but his mom is like, die hard, like, you got to go, you got to, you know, play your heart out. I mean, have you ever met his mom or heard any experiences out of that?
No, I haven't really heard too much about that. I mean, I did meet, like I said, his little brother Caleb, I think his name was, sick hockey player. But yeah, I mean, that's really about the extent of the family that I've met.
Nice. So did you ever take one of Seth Jones' shots? He's got a hard shot, huh?
He's got a hard shot. Actually, that reminds me of another story. I'm telling you, I got like so many random stories that I don't even really think of. So it's kind of cool, like sitting down and talking to you guys about this. But yeah, there was it was before Seth Jones got traded and Weber was still here. And it was another thing over the summer, like just kind of get on the ice. And they were doing this kind of this one-timer drill from the blue line. And Shea Weber was shooting, and I didn't really think anything of it. It was like, yeah, of course he shoots super hard, but he kind of like, he eases up on it when he shoots, you know what I mean? But the coach stops the drill. He's like, guys, let's go get some water, let's take a break. And we're like, what's the deal? And we look back, and Shea had put a hole through the boards behind me because he missed a couple of shots, and he was shooting so hard it went through the boards, which like none of us had ever seen. So even Seth Jones was like blown away. Like he took a picture, like posted on his Twitter. He's like, this guy's unreal, like putting holes through boards with pucks.
Oh, geez. So you after seeing that, you obviously wanted to stay goalie.
Yeah, even then I was like, I think I'm good. I'll be all right.
You weren't scared? I would have been like a little nervous.
I really didn't even think about it. I mean, halfway through the drill when they stopped, I was like, what are you stopping for? I was stopping some of those pucks. Like, I was feeling pretty good about it.
So
that's funny.
How did you get into the goalie position? I know you said you fell in love with hockey when you saw the Ducks and all that, the movies and stuff, but how did you like fall into the goalie position? It's such a unique spot, I think, in hockey.
Yeah. Well, so when I first played roller hockey, my coach had two sons that were my age and my little brother's age. And my parents became really good friends with them. So we'd go over there all the time. We'd play hockey in the backyard. And anytime it was like, all right, who's playing goalie? I was like, yo, I'm playing goalie. Like, that's me, all day. So, like started playing then. And my coach, he was like, hey, do you have any interest in actually playing? And I was like, yes, like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to play goalie. And since then, that was it. It was over.
So goalies have, I'm talking to you like you're not a goalie. So
these goalie guys,
there's a lot of like memes and jokes that go around about like some of the odd things that you guys maybe do. Like, what do you have to say to that? Do you like hate those memes? Are you like, no,
there's really no rebuttal. Goalies are weird. Like you can try as hard as you want to be a normal goalie, but the fact that you're a goalie, you're just weird. Like,
but why? Like, what is it about that position?
I mean, I've met some really weird goalies and I'm like, that guy's weird. Like, it totally makes sense that he's a goalie because he's just weird. But, I mean, I don't know, everyone kind of has their own little quirks, and being a goalie, like, they're kind of almost special individual quirks. So, plus the whole stigma with goalies being weird, just like I said, it just kind of makes goalies weird.
So what's your weirdness?
I don't know. I've had a lot of people say, like, you know what, you're one of the more normal goalies I've met. I'm like, wow, what a compliment. But, anytime like something weird will come around, they're like, oh, well, he's a goalie. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Like, all right, I guess I can work with that too.
Yeah. So other than, being a, low-key backup goalie, not a big deal, what do you do as like your day job? I mean, what else do you got going on?
Yeah, so I work for Southwest Airlines, actually. So I'm out on the tarmac, like marshaling planes, like moving bags around, stuff like that. So wow. Kind of, I mean, the whole like lifestyle that I have started back in the lockout. And, I would go practice in the morning with the team, turn around, go to work afterwards. And it was like, go from this like crazy NHL experience and turn around to going to be like a normal, like kind of blue collar guy. And I'm like, talking to all my coworkers, and they are absolutely blown away. Like, it's so cool to like go back and tell them about all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, especially being in Nashville. I mean, I personally know, obviously I'm a fan, but going to the games, the Predators fans are insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, yeah. Like, so to go, if no one's listening and they haven't been to Bridgestone before, like the energy in that building is out of this world. Like, how would you describe Predators fans?
So the fan base has grown like crazy over, I don't know, the last 5-6 years, but really when the Preds made it to the Stanley Cup final was kind of the peak of the fan base. It was like so crazy. I mean, all of Broadway was blocked off just to watch games. And, you know, I mean, it gets so loud in there and the atmosphere is so crazy, but just as like an entertainment standpoint, like it's just so entertaining just to go.
Yeah. What's your favorite part, you think, around or going to the game? There's live music that's in the arena. There's, you know, obviously the chants. Do you have a favorite chant?
Actually, like, so the "You suck" chant after they score goals, I don't say that because I know
goalie.
that I could be, well, yeah. I mean, I feel for the goalie, one, but two, like I could be in that situation. And the fact that like everyone's screaming "You suck," I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, but no, I mean, I've been to a lot of different arenas around the league. I mean, like I've been to LA. I've watched the Kings play. Honestly, like Kings games are kind of boring. Like they just straight up play commercials. Like, you know, in between plays at Preds games, it's just entertainment. Just, you know, everywhere you go. So I mean, it's just a lot of excitement going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Breezy, you've been to both Kings and Preds games, so would you validate Dustin's statement about Kings games being boring compared to Preds?
You know, Kings games actually were really, really good too. I was a season ticket holder for 3-4 years, and that was when, you know, they had won the cup. They were, you know, they were going on to win their second cup, and it was fun. I mean, it was loud in there. There was a lot of "Go Kings Go" chants. They have like Cartman on like the Jumbotron, like making fun of, you know, the opposing teams and stuff. But I would say over the last couple of years, it's mellowed down a lot. The energy in that building has kind of been sucked out of it. And I don't know if it's because of, you know, the team or just people aren't able to go, because ticket prices are still like outrageous. And it's like, you guys suck. You want me to spend $100 to stay in the upper level? Like, it's just insane. But I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about the organization or anything, but I would definitely agree that they are boring now. So, but you got to go when they're playing a fun team.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I go and I cheer for my other teams when they come to LA, because I figure I can go to a Kings game anytime I want and I can cheer for the Kings. But if the Preds are in town, like, I'm going to go support the Preds because I don't get to see them as often. So,
yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah, honestly, I mean, like in the Preds history, even still, like a team will roll through and there are so many fans of the other team. Like, you know, if they're playing Detroit or even Chicago, like there's so many Chicago fans, you know, but they come for the atmosphere. They come to, like you say, support their team and enjoy Nashville. So, you know, it gets kind of rowdy sometimes, like not between fans, but, you know, like whenever the other team scores, it's like, whose home ice are we on right now?
Yeah. I was actually in an Uber one time and we had asked, we were like, so who's like the worst team that, you know, the worst fan base for a team that's ever come to Nashville? And the girl goes, Hawks fans.
Hey!
But it was only because they take over, like completely take over,
yes,
and they're loud, and I guess they're a little rude, but not saying anything to you or to other Hawks fans, but but you can probably if you're drinking a lot. But I thought,
Hawks fans travel very well. We travel everywhere. We take over Staples Center. Are you freaking kidding me? We're like, it's a sea of red. That's what we do. And I mean, I look forward to it every time the Hawks are out here because I don't get back to Chicago very often to see them. And if that's my only opportunity, you know, I do. But there's a lot of Hawks fans everywhere. And yeah, we're loud. We love our team. You know, I can't speak for the ill-behaved people because I'm not one of those. when I go, I behave, because when I went to a regular season game several years ago at Staples to see the Hawks play, that was in between the years of the Stanley Cups when we were going back and forth. And I mean, I was a little scared to be wearing red in Staples because, I mean, the Kings fans were full on just like chirping the shit out of me. And
it was a rowdy time. It was a rowdy time.
you're right. It was a very different time, like being in that building then than going in there now.
Yeah.
And plus I know some Kings fans now, like you, Breezy, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I've got a little bit more of an understanding of what's happening here. But I
Yeah.
was like legit pretty afraid to be in that building, and like just was waiting for beer to get thrown on me or something. So I kept my shit in line. I was not like screaming stuff and talking shit about Kings, the Kings. But Dustin, so do you have like a NHL team that you also cheer for? Are you like a Preds fan, or do you have other teams, or are you allowed to even disclose that?
No, I grew up a big Bruins fan, actually.
That's
My dad's family is all across New England, so big New England sports fans there. And when I moved here, I remember seeing like commercials for Preds games at like the theater. Like you go to a movie and they're advertising the Preds because they were still a really new team. And I didn't really think much about the Preds because I was like, I have my team already. Like I'm new to the city. Like didn't really think anything of it. But over the years, going to Preds games, and with the Preds being so involved in trying to grow the game here in Nashville, it became, all of a sudden I was like, wait, I'm a huge Preds fan. Like it just kind of took over. And then, obviously when I started kind of playing with different guys here and there, and then, eventually, being the emergency goalie, it was like, okay, yeah, the Preds are awesome. I love this team, great group of people, and an awesome organization. So.
Yeah. So then that game must have been really special for you to dress for the Bruins, like knowing that that was like your original team. That's it. That's heavy shit.
Yeah, it was intense. I mean, anytime I would go to Bruins Preds games, I'd be so torn. And, but, getting called in to get dressed for them, I mean, Chara must have shook my hand like 7 times. He's like, thank you so much for helping out. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Like, I'm doing my best here. But yeah, it was actually really cool because, afterwards it was just kind of like, all right, you're a normal person again. Like, just an average Joe. And, they contacted me and they said, hey, like, what's your address? They didn't say why. A couple days later, I got a package from the Boston Bruins, and it was this like goalie jersey with my name on it, and like a little card that said, thank you so much for helping out, like signed the Boston Bruins. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, that's so awesome. Thank you. Like,
Jeez.
Wow.
It's stories like that where, I mean, they could be your most hated team, but you hear something like that and you're like, wow, like I like the Bruins now.
yeah, right.
That's amazing that they did that for you. And that was the other question I was going to ask is, so you don't get paid, right, by the organization, but they do take care of you in other ways, right? Like, for example, the Bruins, like they didn't have to send you a custom jersey or, thank you or anything like that. But how does that sort of work with the compensation, if you will?
Yeah, well, I've gotten to know a handful of other emergency guys, and like I said, each team handles them differently. Like I know some guys that do get paid pretty well. I know some guys that don't even get to practice with the team. I know some guys who kind of get a little bit of both. Everything's kind of grown here in Nashville year to year, where we were not getting parking, and then we started getting parking, and then we started getting this, and I get helped out with gear here and there. If I need a stick or something, they'll hook me up. But this last year they started paying us to go to the games. I mean, it's not much to go, but like 2 free tickets, you get to park with the players, and here's a couple free sticks here and there. Like, such an awesome deal for me. So
Yeah. I'd take that any day, to be honest.
Yeah,
Hold the
right.
sticks for me. I just give me 2 free tickets and I'm good.
Yeah, right. I mean, 2 free tickets to every game, like that's worth it alone. But I mean, I gotta be. Sometimes I get kind of wrapped up in just going to the games, and like I totally forget that I'm there to be an emergency goalie until like a goalie gets ran into or something, and I'm like, oh no, like I totally forgot that I'm here, like for a reason. And then it's a reminder, like, okay, like I do need to kind of like dial in a little bit. And then of course stuff like David Ayers or Scott Foster, that's kind of like a huge reminder, like this is very real and it could definitely happen. So like, I try not to take it too lightly, but it's just such a fun experience. Like I just try to really just enjoy it all.
Yeah.
So,
So you obviously can't drink, have a beer or anything when you go to games.
Yeah, well, they never said that we couldn't drink, but they basically were like, please don't get hammered. Like, but I never really was a fan of drinking at the games anyway, just because I felt like I couldn't really focus on the game. Like all of a sudden, like the game was over, and I didn't really like catch what was going on. So I mean, I don't really have a habit of drinking at games anyway.
Gotcha. Well, that's good.
so how would you say that the game of hockey and just this position you're in now just impacted your life overall?
It's completely changed my life. I mean, just from the lockout alone, like that kind of totally turned my life in a totally different direction, to where, all of a sudden I was almost living like these two lives, where I had, my blue collar, working life. And then I also had this like kind of weird, not super secret, but like NHL experience life, So, it completely changed everything in such an awesome way. And just to be even like remotely involved with the NHL has been such an awesome experience.
I like that a lot. That's good.
How,
Sorry, Google.
No, I was going to say, how are you sort of staying, in that hockey mindset now and during this self-quarantine, and, what are you doing to keep up with, just your skills and mental like focus while we wait out what's happening?
I mean, it's tough for a goalie. I mean, there's only so much you can do. I try to do a lot of hand-eye stuff. I like to throw a racquetball against the wall, put my gloves on, kind of get my hands going, and then kind of try to do like goalie-specific workouts, stretches, kind of stuff like that. I'm almost at the point where I'm going to start telling my roommate to just start shooting pucks at me in the driveway, because like, I'm kind of getting desperate at this point. Like I miss playing hockey.
Yeah. So do you have like a favorite hunk of hockey, in your sense, at least?
The favorite hunk. I mean, I gotta be honest. There's a lot of like really good looking hockey guys, obviously.
Yeah.
I think guys that I've met, I mean, obviously Mike Fisher, guy's a hunk.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
For obvious reasons. Yeah, Yossi, he's a good looking guy too.
Yes,
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I was like, man, that's a good looking dude. But I mean, you have to respect it. Like as a guy, it's like, all right, man, good for you. Like you're just a good looking guy. Like
yeah. Good looking, and you're a good player. So I think between the two of those, I think you nailed I think you got it. I think Fisher's a good one.
Tip the hat.
Yes. Yeah. So do you have a favorite hockey lady?
Hockey lady.
Yeah,
I don't think
wife.
I've ever really thought like. So where I sit is with all the wags, like wives and girlfriends. And it's kind of funny, like bringing friends who haven't like been to games with me, because we go sit down and they're like, dude, look at her. Oh my God, she's so hot. But what I'm like, yo, chill. Like these are all the wives and girlfriends. Like, don't need you to make a fool of yourself. But yeah, I mean, like hockey guys, good looking dudes, they don't date not good looking girls. So,
yeah.
But as far as like a favorite, like I never really thought about having a favorite. I mean, I guess an obvious one would be Carrie Underwood. Still haven't met her yet, Mike, but we'll see if that ever happens.
Yeah, you got to go to their farm, like their ranch. They have like a big ranch.
Yeah, he talks about that a lot. It sounds like such a good time out there. I mean, I'm not like a big like hunter, like fisherman kind of guy, but just like hearing all the stuff that they do around that farm, it's like it sounds like such a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd want to go there. If I had the opportunity, I would go there.
Yeah. They need to start having camps. Just invite people out there.
Yeah. Little tours.
Yeah, right.
Tractor tours would be fun. So do you have a favorite, like, I know you have Bones as your nickname, and obviously Nick Bonino is also Bones, but is there another nickname, league-wide that you think is probably the coolest or the funniest, or?
League-wide? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, like the whole, Bonino being Bones as well, like when he came onto the team, you know, guys would say Bones, like I would look, just kind of thinking they were talking to me, and it's like, oh, you're talking to the real Bones. Sorry, my bad, guys. Like, don't mind me. But yeah, I don't know. There was a while where Martin Erat was calling me Boner, just like, because he's another guy that I would skate with over the summer, and you know, even after he went to Phoenix, he would still come out and skate. And he's like, "Oh, nice save, Boner." Like, whatever, Marty.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good.
That is funny.
I was gonna say, do any of the other like players give you a special nickname or like chirp you with it? What do they chirp you with if you come out there? Or are they pretty nice about it?
No, they're all pretty nice. One guy that does like the chirping quite a bit is Ryan. He's a fun guy, but he's one of the guys that I've skated with the longest, you know, during the lockout and everything. But yeah, we like to give each other a good time, or give each other a hard time.
That's
Nice.
funny.
So do you have any recommendations for people listening when we're allowed to travel again on, you know, what should a fan do if they're coming to visit, like, you know, Hawks fans or, you know, Kings fans, if we're coming in town to see our team play? Any recommendations on like places to eat and go and do before the game?
There's obviously a lot of really good barbecue spots. There's so many new businesses popping up too. Like I just heard today, there's a guy that just opened up a new burger spot, and it's supposed to be like just this incredible, like better than In-N-Out kind of style burger, and it just kind of dropped out of nowhere too. So yeah, a lot of really good food spots here in Nashville. I mean, it's at the point where I can't even keep up anymore.
I think Martin's barbecue is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Martin's is pretty good. I'm a fan of Edley's, but it's, you know, there's Peg Leg Porker too. That place is really awesome. But yeah, Martin's is usually go-to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's where my brother took me. I'd have to go back and look. But when I was there, he took me to a good barbecue spot, and I think that's where we went. Yeah. And I didn't have that Hattie B's, the fry. Is it that the fried chicken?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know when hot chicken became a thing in Nashville, but I went to a pizza spot and it was like Hattie B's hot chicken pizza. Didn't really think anything of it. I was like, yeah, sweet. Like, I'll try this Hattie B's thing. And I get 2 bites in and I'm crying. Like, my nose is running, my eyes are watering. I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Like, and my friends knew, but they didn't say anything. You know, they thought I knew, but I had no idea. Like, that some of the hottest chicken I've ever had in my life, but you know, that's the shtick, I guess.
Yeah,
sure
Breezy,
is.
Do you get the hot chicken when you go there?
I've gotten it twice, but like I think in my like older age, I can't have like hot foods anymore. Like it's just not enjoyable to me. But usually when I go to Hattie B's, I'll get like the like lowest of lowest scales of hotness, and then I usually ask for ranch dressing. Sorry for people who are critiquing me for that one, but I gotta tone it down a bit. But it's good.
Yeah, I'd rather enjoy my food, not have it just beat me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Dustin, what year did you move to Nashville? Were you there before 98 when the team started, or were you there shortly after?
I moved here 99, 2000, okay. So not too long after the Preds had started up. But honestly, it was kind of cool coming in around that time because, you know, I was there to see hockey really grow and become what it is today. And you know, even still today, it's still growing like crazy. I mean, like all the youth programs are getting more and more legit. I mean, a lot of these alumni guys are coming in and they're coaching and you know, they're molding the young minds into the hockey players that they've become. So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. That must have been really neat to see, like what Vegas is sort of going through and how that city has just totally rallied around that team. The whole city is a Knights fan. It's incredible to see that.
Like, it's almost not fair seeing a team like that come together and just like, you know, get instant success. You know, everybody loves them right away. Where, you know, teams like the Preds or Arizona or, you know, Atlanta, when they had a team, you know, they kind of struggled early on, and but it is cool to see Vegas, you know, kind of get accepted so fast. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Seattle here coming up.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go over well, because I think there's probably a lot of people from Vancouver who are gonna, you know, who live in Seattle. And I would imagine that, I think people are pretty excited. They still haven't announced the name, have they?
They have. I'm pretty sure it's the Kraken now, right?
Good. Is that official? I didn't know if that was official.
I don't know if that was like
think
a
it's
prank.
official.
Is it
No,
not? Okay, I might be
I don't
jumping
think
around.
it's official, but I think that's what the rumors are.
Yeah.
That's what I want it to be. That's
Yeah,
the
me too.
coolest name ever.
It is.
The Kraken, and like
they
sounds cool.
that team like way back in the day, like 1919 or something like that. I forget the team name then. I don't know if it was like Metropolitans or like, you know, something kind of like how back in the day it was like the Canadians, you know, kind of typical names. But
yeah,
I was kind of hoping they would kind of go that route and just go full on old school. But I'm sure there'll be some throwbacks. I'm sure there'll be some cool callbacks to that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Dustin. This like flew by. Oh my gosh. You've told us so many stories. Is there anything else you've thought of, or any other stories you want to share? Or
no, I'm sure I'll think of something here in the next 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, that's about all I got for you guys here.
Awesome. And where can people follow you? If you want people to follow you, shout out your social media if you want. And, you know.
Yeah, I'm just on Instagram. It's Dem Bones.
Awesome.
All right.
And then they'll look for you when the season starts again, sitting next to the Wags.
Oh yeah, I'll be there with the Wags, trying to hold my friends back.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was such an enlightening conversation to just hear about that mindset of being a goalie, and then, you know, being in that emergency goalie situation, backup goalie situation, is so incredible. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for sharing your story. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode on Tuesday. And in the meantime, you can follow us on social media at House of Hockey Podcast.